I might grab a bat, I don't know my wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough.
All right. Welcome to the Fantasy Six Pack 2022 Fantasy Football Team Previews. We're going to be covering the Kansas City Chiefs. With me to do this is Mr. Mike LaPlant. Let's hop right to it, shall we?
Always so hyped after that intro. Let's go.
I know, man. Thanks, Dave is paying for that. So we're going to be starting off here with our quarterback room for the Kansas City Chiefs, and none other than Mr. Patrick Mahomes. Overall 44, QB2 in the rankings there. The big question mark for him, right, is just can he be as good without Tyreek Hill?
Can that be a stupid question? I honestly think he can. The dude's a Hall of Fame quarterback, still playing. And he's got Andy Reid running the offense. I just have too much faith in these two. Now, yes, he did lose a big target in Tyreek Hill, obviously, but he still got his main man, Travis Kelce, and they did their best to reload with, some weapons, some speed on the outside. So I don't see him being the QB1, Josh Allen, the mountain top to climb.
the meme. I know you don't.
Yes. But QB2, man, you can't argue with that.
Yeah, I think he's going to be perfectly fine. I mean, look, it does lower the ceiling slightly for him. I won't.
I'd be hard to see another 50 touchdown season from him.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see a lot less of those, just taking the top off the ball with Tyreek Hill and he's electric. I know they brought in JuJu and MVS and they brought in Skyy Moore and like you said, they tried their best, but you're not replacing Tyreek.
No.
And they had something special there, but I still think he's fine. Will I take him at this point? Probably not. I just don't take quarterbacks early.
Yeah, same strategy.
But it's just, it's one of those, you're going to get a plenty fine season out of Pat Mahomes. And if anything, honestly, maybe he runs a little more. He can scramble. He's not going to turn into Josh Allen or Lamar, but he can scramble. Maybe he gives you an extra couple touchdowns and, an extra 100 yards rushing. That can make up for some, the loss of Tyreek. Just slightly. Who knows?
Absolutely.
We'll see what happens. All right, over here to the running backs. We got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, overall 59, running back 28. We brought in Ronald Jones, Isaiah Pacheco, and Derek Gore is still sitting around. So, look, really the question is, can you trust anybody in this backfield? I mean, CEH has been sort of a disappointment. Ronald Jones isn't anything special. I mean, what are you thinking here? I mean, they're going pretty late, for the running backs, but is it worth taking these guys?
I guess it kind of depends on your draft strategy. If you're, going heavy in RB, like I feel like me and you are probably going to be doing this year, RB first couple rounds.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be backing off of them because, like you said, dip in on that wide receiver value in those mid rounds. But if you are the type of guy or type of gal that likes to go maybe tight end first, maybe likes to go the Patrick Mahomes route in the second
dip into
round.
those QBs.
Yeah, then I could. I mean, I don't know if you're going to pair Patrick Mahomes with CEH, but you get the gist of it. That's where I'd be targeting him. But I'm not drooling over Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I'm definitely not. I think he's the hype is out on him for sure. Dropping all the way to RB28.
His biggest knock is the pass
catching ability.
Yes, it's been going down every year. It's weird. It should be going up.
And I mean, I know Jones isn't like awesome at that, but he can kind of do it too. So it's sort of just like
substitute for it.
It's like the same thing to me. Like and you mentioned like the draft strategy with the running backs. One trend that I have noticed just by doing this, and it wasn't. I didn't think that this was what I would learn from doing all of these. But, the fact that we're seeing overall 28, RB 28, or overall 59, RB 28, right? Yep. That means like half of the first 59 picks just about are running backs. Like, that is crazy. So to me, it means you need to go get your good running backs, the ones you trust early. Because the ones the ones that are still going, by the way, still fairly early, 4th, 5th round, right? I don't want these guys as my RB1. You're still having to pay top dollar for these guys, to where the receivers are getting pushed down tremendously. Like, their value is awesome. So I can get wide receiver 1s, wide receiver 2s in the 4th, 5th round still, because they're all being shoved. They're all being pushed down. That's what I've noticed.
Disrespect.
And, so I might have some shares of Ronald Jones. That's about when I might dip back into the running back pool again. If I go running back, or running back, receiver, running back type of deal. Yep. I might wait again until you get to the Ronald Jones range. But there's also some other backs around that range that I like slightly more. And I've mentioned them on some of these other team previews.
I was going to say, we mentioned it with Melvin Gordon on the Broncos.
Yeah, go ahead and check the Denver Broncos one out there to learn all about that. So moving over here to receivers, as we noted, they retooled this receiving room, and we got Mr. JuJu Smith-Schuster sitting there at 63 overall, wide receiver 23. Drafted Skyy Moore, brought in Marquez Valdes-Scantling, your favorite old Packer. Mecole Hardman. And then Josh Gordon and Corey Coleman still hanging around. Probably not really much to write home with them. But look, this is a receiving core that for years, maybe because Tyreek was the man, really only supported one receiver, right? So I'm going to start here. I'm going to start here with one. Is JuJu now the guy to trust in this receiving room?
I'm not locking him in as the guy, but he's my highest probability for the guy. I mean, you got to remember, a couple years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, this guy was dynasty wide receiver 1 at one point.
He was amazing.
He's shown it when he has a good quarterback. He has the goods to do it.
Yes.
He's got a great quarterback again. Possibly, well, no doubt better than Big Ben.
Well, especially near the end of Big Ben's career. I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying.
But so it's absolutely plausible, and it's probably the best probability here. But other than that, I mean, I can't get excited about all these other guys. Skyy Moore, MVS. I mean, it's going to be a crapshoot trying to pick one of these guys out consistently for redraft. I
like Skyy Moore's talent. I'm not sure I love the landing spot because MVS is there, and yeah, I mean, he's got stone hands at times, but he's proven time and time again, right, that he does have good games. Mecole Hardman has proved he has good games, but look, 2 years ago, Mecole Hardman was Skyy Moore. Like, we were all like, oh man, he's the guy. But again, Kansas City repeatedly does not support more than one receiver, so I think some of these back end guys are ones that I'm not really dipping my toes into there. I will have some shares of JuJu, no doubt. I think, especially because I will not be drafting running backs around that range. JuJu will probably be on lots of my teams because that's the range where I'm going after, instead of getting the CEHs, I'm taking the JuJus, right? Yeah. But, one other big reason why they won't support two receivers is because of the tight end room. And it is Mr. Travis Kelce. Overall 18, tight end 1. Last year was going at the back end of the first round, sometimes the middle of the first round. In Scott Fish, tight end premium, he was going like second, third pick, man. Like, And I got the justification. I was all in on it last year, and he didn't quite live up to it. He had a good season, but it wasn't 2020.
It wasn't what we hyped. Yeah,
he was 17 and a half PPR points on average. He dropped all the way down to like 13.8. Still damn good for a tight end. I mean, plug and play. You don't have to worry about it. But
yeah,
with sorry about that. With Tyreek now not there, like, do we see some of the production going back Kelce's way?
No doubt. I mean, I think because You remember there was a time where Tyreek Hill wasn't consistently this good all the time.
Yes.
He was very high ceiling, low floor.
Oh, he was boom or bust, man. That's why I never
Exactly.
drafted him for that exact reason. And then I finally was kind of in on him last year, and then he kind of went back to boom or bust. I was like, figures.
It does figure that way. I figure part of the reason was because of Kelce. I mean, during that stretch, I mean, I don't know if you realize this, but you know, obviously this past year, Mark Andrews took him over for tight end 1, but from 2015 to 2020. Dude was tight end 1 for 5 years straight. And
it's amazing.
I probably attribute that to Tyreek Hill. I mean, he was still getting his feet in the league, I like to put it, because he was just so fast. Sometimes he just moved faster than what he needed to.
Yeah.
So, yes, absolutely. Kelce is probably – I know this is probably really stupid to say, but I think he's probably your safest value, being that where he is now compared to last year.
Yeah,
in that
I
middle
can
of the
see that.
round.
You know, the one thing you've got to think about here, right, is so last year Tyreek Hill had a 25% target share.
So much.
So we're losing that. Now, that got spread out, huge. Like, that got spread out a lot at the end of the season when teams started adjusting to their coverage toward this. They just played cover 2.
Coverage,
You know, there was like, okay, but I don't know if they have that this year. JuJu's not that type of player, right? So I don't know if they're going to do that coverage. So it could go back to, you know, what we saw in 2020, right? So last year Kelce had 21% of the target share, to where in 2020 he had almost 24% of the target share. So I mean, still a lot, but I think we're going to get some of that going toward his way, to where, you know, maybe he does have more of a repeat of what he did in 2020. But
absolutely,
I can buy in on him for sure at this price, more comfortably than last year. So, all right, man. Well, that is it for the Kansas City Chiefs. I want to thank you all for tuning in and watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button. Leave those comments. We appreciate it. Yeah. Whatever. Make sure you check out the rest of our team previews here on the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel. See ya.